Hey everyone, it's Taylor here, aka Marth, and to start off 2025 right, I figured what better way than to do a bank video for the main account Marth. So, without further ado, welcome to the video, let's jump right into it. So we're going to start out with the very first tab in the bank, which is essentially going to be everything that I could receive off of Treasure Hunter and or cosmetic tokens from the Christmas event, which you can see all of the candy cane tokens there. We do have a nice stack of Silverhawk down and feathers. Then we also have our distraction and diversion reset tokens, along with some other goodies from the Treasure Hunter promos, I guess. I don't really partake in them other than just the daily keys. But it is nice to just stack stuff up so that way when a double XP does happen, we can use it to our advantage, which that's mostly why we're stacking agility skill training dummies, because I despise the skill. I will not train it the normal way. So it's basically Silverhawks and dummies. And on double XP, those 82 should equal out roughly to about 7 or 8 mil XP, which I will not complain about at all. But the rest of it's basically just Proteans and junk. We move over to our second tab, and this is essentially going to be drops, any kind of PVM drops, Slayer drops, bossing drops, etc. Although I did completely clear out the tab and sell it not too long ago, because I know I was going to be making this video, so I did want to start off the year with a relatively clear and clean loot tab. We do have some placeholders for rare items, which you can see like the Torva, the Guthans, Blood Necklace Shards, some of the Raksha drops, and Croesus drops, but I do want to grow this a lot more. And with this year, there are going to be new goals, which if you have been watching the content on the channel, I have been continuing on the road to 5.8 bill XP, which ultimately is where a lot of my GP is going, is turning it straight into XP, whether that be through buyables and or buying gear for PVM, so that way I can make better GP per hour. But this tab is going to grow quite a bit this year, at least hopefully, because we have finished out all of the gathering skills, which means we have a lot of GP to make to be able to get our buyables up to 200 mil as well, such as like crafting. We did finish construction, but we're also working on prayer, crafting, smithing, as well as, well, gosh, I guess there's only going to be a couple more that we're really going to be as far as buyables. So I would say crafting, fletching, smithing, prayer, and then herblore. So we're going to have a lot of combat to do as well, which that'll be for later on. But let's jump into the third tab of the bank. This is going to be all potions, as well as combination potions. Essentially, I just have this set up to where they're all on presets, right? So I very seldom do I go into this tab just because all of my presets for PVM already have all of my potions and whatnot in it. So this is mostly just as placeholders, so that way I can have it all in my bank. Fourth tab is going to be our skilling tab, which this is going to be probably one of the juicier tabs in the bank, just because we do have about 83,000 dragon stones right now, which we're slowly but surely climbing up the amount that we need for 200 mil crafting. So that is that is going to be a grind within itself, just getting all of these cut. But I think I'm gonna hopefully wait until the next double XP, which it should be coming up soon, granted the time of year that it is. So I only have a couple more months to keep stacking up materials in hopes that I can be as efficient as possible for this upcoming double XP. So this essentially is going to house all of the skilling outfits, skill capes, and all those miscellaneous things that you would need for scaling and or for extra XP per hour or other ways of gaining XP whilst skilling, such as like your Catalyst Fragment and your Necklace of Shadows, Ring of Whispers. But then we're going to move on to the fifth tab, which is our gear and PVM tab. So essentially, all of our gear is in here. If you know me, I basically only use one combat style, which is ranged, which we have the full Elite Dracolich set up with the Bow of the Last Guardian, as well as all three of our Essence of Finalities, one with the Dark Bow, the Saren God Bow, and then I believe the last one is the Eldridge Crossbow. So we have all three of our range ECBs set up perfectly. The only other combat style that I really use would be Necromancy. and that's mostly just because those are the two best DPS styles for me. I haven't dabbled too much in magic and melee, but we do have those skills remaining for our 200 mil grinds, so I am going to be coming around and eventually buying best in slot magic as well as melee, mostly so I can just have it in the bank and it's already there for whenever it does get a buff. But I do want to learn magic and melee rotations so that way I can try some other things at bosses. Not to mention, they are going to have the combat achievements coming out very soon, so I would like to kind of brush up on my magic and melee skills for PVM as well. Our 6th tab is going to be our support tab. This is essentially runes, summoning, and that's basically it. Runes, summoning, familiars, and invention. So all of our gizmos, all of our pouches, scrolls, runes, charms, etc. are going to be housed in here. We do have some things for utility like Sign of the Porters, Divine-O-Matic Vacuum, and things for scaling, but this ultimately is the support tab because these items support me doing other things in the game, or they support other tabs in the bank. Nothing too crazy. It's actually kind of boring, but then we'll shift over to tab 7, which is our clue scroll tab. This is not juicy as of yet, but moving forward, we are going to be working on completing as many clues as we can because some of you know that I do track my rune score, and I am wanting to make some progression on the clue logs and hopefully get lucky, but I'm not going to bank on getting any form of die just because I've already gotten pretty lucky when it comes to those from random things like Oyster or Maze Quest Caravan. So we'll be working on finishing out the full Globetrotter outfit, which I believe that is required for trim anyways, so we'll probably end up working on that. But this is essentially just all of our clue scrolls and then items that we would need for clue steps that I have not put into hidey holes yet because let's just face it, when it comes to that, I'm lazy. And I do not want to run around and do that unless I happen to be doing that clue step. Then I'll build the hidey hole and just do it then. But I haven't touched clues in a while, so this tab probably won't look very different anytime soon, but hopefully in the spring or the summer. Tab number 8, questing. Random items, junk items, just things that I do not have a space for in any of these other tabs, so they literally all got hucked into this one tab and just called it a day. I don't use basically anything out of this tab that I can think of. Just stacking little things, you know, having these little rare parasols and whatnot, but yeah, no, this is a useless tab, 100% useless. Last tab, Slayer. As many of you may know, obviously I'm doing the Road to 5.8 build, which means I am going to be grinding to 200 mil Slayer. I have not completed the Slayer Pokédex yet for the game, so I am going to be focusing on trying to catch as many souls as I can on the grind to 200 mil, but I'm not going to be inefficient in the sense of if I need to go back and collect some souls after 200 mil I'm not pressed about that. That actually would be kind of enjoyable to just not have to stress about XP. I can literally just get some Ushabtis and go camp everything with a cannon, or I guess an Oldak coil, whichever one you want to use. But that's basically the last tab in the bank. Nothing too crazy. I mean, if we look at the overall wealth evaluator of the account, so overall account value is about 12.1 bill. I would actually say that it's most likely going to be higher than that just because the amount of money that I have spent on XP and doing fastest XP methods for some skills, it burns a lot of GP, so keep that in mind as well. But obviously it's not a flex to see who has the most GP. If anything, this is just a nice baseline for me to see where I'm at the beginning of this year. So that way we can do a comparison at the end of the year and see if I actually made GP on this account or if I lost it because I was doing all of these buyable 200 mils this year. Because remember, we have Herblore, Crafting, and Prayer. Not to mention Fletching, which just came out with 110, so there's going to be new methods for us to do in that skill. We're going to be spending a lot of GP on XP, but that's okay because ultimately the faster we get to 5.8 bill, the more that I can focus on some other series as well as some other accounts for future content. That is Marth's bank for 2025. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like. And if you haven't seen Runescapers content before and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But let me know what you think. And I want to just say again, thank you for taking some time today to watch this video. I have the upcoming episode of the competitive group Iron Man series coming out very soon. We're getting back on track with the video upload schedule now that we have the move. The work schedule has kind of ironed itself out as far as routine goes. So we're going to be back to regularly making our competitive group Iron Man videos as well as others. That's Marth's bank video for 2025, and we will see where we're at the end of the year. Hopefully it's more than what we just started with, because I have a lot of Bibles to do. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.